Bum 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 bum.
Your word talk is
Ba da da dum bum bum ba dum ba ba dum. Ba da 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 dum. Da dum ba da dum ba da 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 dum. Bum ba da. Is something wrong? Bum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. Ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum, da, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Hello, my friends. Can you hear me? I'm told that perhaps you might not be able to hear me so well. So I'm going to speak directly into the microphone so that I'm certain of that. And let us get started. Hello, my friends. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to talk to you about homeopathy and share information, give you what I know, and hopefully inspire you to not just become a little more aware of homeopathy, but to really know it inside and out. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, great. Wonderful. Hi, my friends. I see my friends on, Facebook and where else are we? We're on Mighties and Rumble and X and YouTube. So we are going to get, and please, I ask you to please give me thumbs up, share, and subscribe to YouTube so that we can really get this going. Thumbs up. Hi, Bob and Deb. Yeah, so sorry to miss the party this weekend. I have to tell you, my friends, what a party. All I can say is what we do is every year, well, this is the second year, so we've only had one previous year. We all gather in Florida and have a big party. All of my students who are students of the academy, who have or either in the academy or have graduated from the academy, even if they graduated previously, they're all welcome, and it is so much fun. I think we had about 70-something people coming in from all over the country, even all over the world, some people from Canada. Last year we had someone from Malaysia and Europe and Australia. This year it was all over the U.S. and Canada. Changes, I guess, every year. And so it was a very exciting time. And if you are a student of mine in the Academy, that's the Academy of Practical Homeopathy, then please plan on it for next year. We love doing this. We're going to do it again next year. And it's so nice because, I teach in Zoom and you see everybody in little squares, and it's really fabulous to be able to touch their faces and say hello and give them a hug. It's a great feeling. So hello from Ontario. Says, I think it's Gia. Good evening from Haven, Florida, says Evelyn. Wonderful to see you all. I love it. Howdy from Texas, says Leah. Keep learning. You betcha. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about allergies. It's autumn, right? This is the time. This is the time when allergies are at their... Pardon me?
You want your word doc.
I want my word doc. I don't think I need it. I'm really just fine. So we're going to talk about allergies, autumn allergies, because it's autumn, right? And so it's itchy eyes and itchy nose and runny nose and watery eyes. And excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water. Excuse me. And I want to give you a little tip tonight, something that might really help you, not just for this condition, for this specific subject we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to give you a tip that I think is going to help you in many ways. I want to make this as easy as possible. See, I come from having studied classical homeopathy years ago, and I'm not telling you that if you're seeing a classical homeopath and that person's helping you, stay with that homeopath. But to learn to use homeopathy, oh my, a lot of work. And the results are less than, as far as I'm concerned, less than adequate. And what I like to focus on instead is to teach people how to use homeopathy so they can use it soon. Not 5 years down the road, because of all the work that has to be understood in using. I know, a lot of coughing, you're right. I don't know what's going on. It's something I just finished eating, I think. Yeah, I'm clearing my throat. I guess I need this remedy tonight, don't I? All right, first thing I want to do is I want to show you the repertory. Okay, this is Robin Murphy's fourth edition of the Meta Repertory. And I'm going to look back in the clinical section, and I'm going to look under allergies. So it's right here. These are all the remedies for allergies. Now, these are not sentences, my friends. For those of you who are not familiar, these are, hope you can see that, are all the names of the medicines. That's how many remedies can be considered for allergies. Okay, so now what do? Holy cow. That is just a little too much to go over, isn't it? So we're going to make it easier. So one of the things that I like is I like when certain companies, not all companies, but certain homeopathic manufacturers, pharmacies who manufacture remedies, make remedies that are combinations. And I like the ones where it's just, where they're low potencies, 3s, 6s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 9s, that kind of thing. And so I happen to like, I have used this in the past. It's called Allergy Calm by Bois, or otherwise known in the U.S. as boron. And so Allergy Calm is a great medicine. Is it going to cure everything? We'll talk about that in a moment. But what it does is it certainly helps calm down the symptoms of allergies to the point where the person can actually live a life. They can, so that they can be, the symptoms are, we're not suppressing symptoms. We are using the symptoms that the person's got to determine what medicine to use. And so what a medicine like this does, which is a combination medicine, is it calms it down until you can get to the underlying condition. And that's the way I like to think. So let me see if I can find my here we go. Okay, put some notes together here. So if you look at a product like this, Allergy Calm, on the back it tells you what medicines are in there. So you turn it over, look on the back, and what it relieves, what it's intended to do, and what each of the medicines are known for. Now, I'm going to tell you that what they tell you on the back for each of the medicines that are included here is very cursory. It's not as much information as we would like to have, so I'm going to give you more information. So there's a reason why I'm telling you to consider this medicine. There's more than one reason. One is because it can relieve the symptoms of hay fever and allergies and upper respiratory allergies, etc. And then I'll give you the second reason later. So it says Allergy Calm is for itchy and watery eyes, sneezing, itchy throat and nose, runny nose, spasmodic cough associated with hay fever. I think it's for even more than that. So if we look on the back, we will see that there are 1, 2, 3, I've written them all down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medicines. I hope I've got that right. I'm pretty sure that there were 5 medicines combined, all low potencies, 5C, 5C, 5C. They're all 5Cs. And then they give you a breakdown of each of the medicines. And so what I've done, and what I often urge folks to do, is if you don't want to go through all this repertorizing, going through and finding the medicine and trying to figure out what it is, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm giving you a little shortcut here that can really make a difference. You get something like this. If it works, if it helps the person, you look on the back and you say, look at the medicines that are in here. I wonder which one is working, or which 2, or even 3, because sometimes I used to believe it was only one medicine at a time that could act, but I totally am, I believe I was completely wrong about that. Because we do have combinations that need to be combined in order for them to act fully. So the first medicine is Allium cepa 5C. The next one is Ambrosia artemisifolia. The next is Euphrasia officinalis. The next is Histominum hydrochloricum. And the last is Sabadilla. Now, each one of these medicines has an action. Some of them intersperse or overlap, and some of them are distinctly different from the other. So I want to point, before I go into each one of these, I want to point out that there are medicines like this that are combined, such as Highland's teething tablets was one of them it's been taken off the market, not because they were made to take it off the market, but because they decided to take it off the market. It was a business decision, not an FDA ruling or whatever. So the combination medicines that you see that act, the most important thing about those combination medicines is that they act. The second most important thing is that you look on the back and see what the medicines are. If they act for this person who's suffering, then we know that one of those medicines or two or three of them or whatever is the reason for the action. So we're going to do that with Allergy Calm. We're going to make it super easy. And it turns out, not surprisingly, that the medicines that I would first consider for allergies, especially in the autumn, are exactly those that are on the back of the box. What do you know? So what this means is these people, this pharmacy, Boron, Rowan, and others, OHM, Highlands, Washington Homeopathics, Helios Homeopathics, Hahnemann Pharmacy, they make remedies, they make remedy combinations, and they make them in a very intelligent way. Why? Because they're pharmacists. They're homeopathic pharmacists, and they have been doing this a long time. And knowing many of these pharmacists, I actually know them personally, have met them, I trust them. I trust that they've done their homework. What they've done is repertorized for you. They give you all the medicines that are most likely and all the potencies, and then they even tell you how frequently to use it. How easy is that? Now, before I go into them, let me also say that there is more to this than just relieving the acute symptoms. And I want you to know that there is a good deal more so that we can uproot it more deeply. I have noted that when people use a medicine such as Allergy Calm, that they improve over a period of time after using this, whether it's for fall or spring or whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be seasonal. Could be for another reason that they have allergies. Could be a dog or a cat or exposure to mold or et cetera, et cetera. But I've noticed that through the years of using this, you're not using it every day. You're only using it during an acute situation. A few days in a row, maybe a few days and then stop, and then the next week, a few days again, and then the next week, a few days again. And by that time, often the offender is no longer around. That we can get along with just this kind of a medicine that we use for an acute. But if you really want to go deeper and uproot the allergic state, then I'm going to be honest with you, you really need to study a little bit more. And the way you do that is you go to Joette's Learning Center and scroll down, Joette's Learning Center, no apostrophe, even though it should be there, Joette's Learning Center, and scroll down to allergic. And consider buying that course. You'll own it once you buy it. Buy that course and study it, not once, not twice. Don't study it 3 times. No, only 4 times. The only way you're going to learn this, my friends, is if you go through it 4 times, because the information is so intense. There's so much information, and I teach you exactly how to structure a schedule around whatever allergy it might be. So, should you be interested, you might want to do that. Okay. Is this just for seasonal allergies or food allergies? This is not, it doesn't say, does it? It's Allergy Calm. So what we're talking, I will explain that in a minute. The reason it doesn't say is because the medicines describe the condition or conditions. So first medicine in there is Allium cepa. It's in a 5 potency. Is it a 5C? I think it's a 5C. 5C. They're all C's. It is made from red onion. And it's for allergies in general. And it's for lacrimation. For hay fever in general. It can also be used for a common cold And when the person, just like if they were to cut up an onion and become exposed to that, their eyes would run, their nose would run, and their upper lip would excoriate. The eyes are the lacrimation from the eyes is not excoriating; it's bland. But the mucus from the nose is acrid and excoriates. That is a distinguishing factor to know whether or not this medicine would be useful for someone. It relieves runny nose associated with allergies. Now, the second medicine, if I look at the back of this box, is ambrosia. 5C. Ambrosia, my friends, is made from ragweed. It is ragweed. It's ragweed potentized down to all the way to a 5C. It relieves a spasmodic cough in relationship to allergies. That's associated with hay fever. Hay fever in general, it's a very good remedy for hay fever in general because it is made from ragweed. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hay fever in general. Nosebleeds. Allergies in general. Lacrimation. Horrible itching of the eyelids. I've had that, and this medicine is very good for that. I've used it a number of times, and it works every time for me. Itchy, watery eyes, watery nose, sneezing, and watery discharge. And so when you get a product like this, you read the directions, and it tells you precisely how often to use it. Yep. Yeah, very interesting, Mike. Doing the courses numerous times is like reading of the Bible over and over. You learn something new each time. It's absolutely true. Thank you, Mike, for mentioning that. Yes. Okay. Third medicine that we'll find in the back of this box. You see, this is a blueprint, my friends. I'm telling you to use this because this is going to give you information not just in this particular product for this condition, but also when you see other combination medicines made by reputable homeopathic pharmacies. Then you look on the back, see if it acts, if it works. Then you look on the back and see what it's made of. And then you learn what medicines are most useful for you in this condition, whatever this particular condition might be. So the third medicine is euphrasia, 5C, euphrasia 5C. And euphrasia is eyebright, the herb eyebright. It's, again, for allergies, eye problems, hay fever, lacrimation. So now they're all about allergies and hay fever. Okay, so not so important because they're all in common. We're looking for those things that are little, that help us it stand out a little bit. In euphrasia, there's often the sensation as though there's sand in the eyes. And because I've had this myself, I love being able to use this. Frequent yawning when walking in open air. But I also see that it's very valuable for frequent yawning. Yawn, that's pretty frequent. Not yawn and then 2 hours later. No, we're talking about episodic yawning, where it's more consistent, it's happening frequently. The tears that run, lacrimation that runs, are acrid. And the nasal discharge is bland. Interesting, isn't it? Euphrasia says the tears are acrid, kind of burning, and the nasal discharge is bland, whereas in allium cepa, to help us determine the difference, or be able to differentiate, it's the opposite. The lacrimation, the upper lip excoriates, and the eyes are not acrid. Interesting, isn't it? Just the opposite. Allium cepa, when it comes to the runny eyes and runny nose, is the opposite of euphrasia for the runny eyes and runny nose. And that helps us differentiate. So, it relieves burning and irritated eyes, and it's used often in tincture form, meaning in its actual botanical state, and such as in something like this, in liquid, in tincture. And it is eyebright. Euphrasia officinalis is eyebright. So it's also a very good medicine for eye conditions. Not so much sight, although I have seen it help with sight too. It's not my first medicine that I think of for sight, but it is something that is very useful for when there's an injury to the eye, or the eyes are swollen, or there's redness to the eye, or overuse of the eyes, etc. Shall we keep going? Tracy says you mentioned yawning and now I can't stop. Yeah, Optique. Yeah, that's another good one. Optique. Thank you. Lisa, I think, is sending that. Okay, next medicine that's on the back of this little box is histaminum. Histaminum hydrochloricum. And that's in a 9C. I told you earlier they're all 5C. Sorry, this one is in a 9C. And it relieves symptoms of allergic reactions. In general, my friends, histaminum is a histamine reaction remedy. So it's an excellent medicine when we see allergic reactions in general. Could be anaphylaxis, could be eczema, could be so many things. But when we see an allergic reaction, if you suffer, and I teach that in the course called Allergic that you can find if you go to Joette's Learning Center, I teach how to use this as well. It relieves symptoms of allergic reactions, any kind of reaction, edema, swelling under the eyes, swelling of the hands after eating something, feet swell, hands swell, legs swell, ankles swell, swelling, edema, hives, rashes, pruritus. What's pruritus? Pruritus is itching, just itching. Okay, so sometimes people just get itchy. What's wrong with me? I'm just so itchy. I can't stop scratching, or I itch here and then it goes away, and then I itch there, or it itches there, and I scratch it, and it itches there, and I scratch it. That is a histamine reaction, most likely, but we don't need to know that exactly. What we're really looking to know is what medicines to choose based on the symptoms. So pruritus and itching, and I said that already, and burning. There can be burning. Doesn't have to have burning, but it is also burning. Why can't you get Similacin eye drops anymore? Take it off the market for a short period of time is my guess. I mean, I know it is taken off the market. I'm assuming it's going to be for a short period of time. Now, next medicine, Sabadilla. Sabadilla 5C. That's what's on the back of this box. It's telling us it's in these pills. Sabadilla. That is made from a seed. It relieves sneezing and itchy throat. The throat is itchy, and it's associated, of course, with allergies and hay fever. It also happens to have a lot of nose conditions. So nose bleeds, nose itching. And I have to say, this is one of our best medicines. It's a second choice for pinworms. Parasites in general, but especially pinworms. And what's interesting about pinworms and how this all fits together is that children, well, anyone for that matter, but children are more prone to pinworms. Children who get pinworms often have an itchy nose, or they pick their nose. There's a lot of nose issue going on when somebody has pinworms. Don't ask me why. It's just the way it is. And this is Sabadilla is my second choice for pinworms. And my first choice is Cinna, and you probably know that because I've written about it on my blog. This is interesting. It's made from a seed. It's the Sabadilla seed, and it was written, the first time it was noted as actually written down was in 1572, and it was used for worms and lice. So the reason I'm telling you this is because of the nose. And when it comes to Sabadilla, everything is the nose. So there's a lot of nose sensations. The sensation of smell is too strong. The person can't be around this smell or that smell or perfumes or flowers, or the smell of smoke is too sensitive. It's really uncomfortable for them. So it's the mucous membranes of the nose. So when we think of allergies in the fall or the spring or the summer or whenever it might be, or in a dungeon, wherever it might be, and it's focused on the nose and the itching and sneezing and runny and too sensitive, we always think of Sabadilla. Also, sensitive to smells, I said, and watery coryza. Watery. Would this help someone with allergic asthma? not cure, but help with symptoms. If there is, my friends, if these symptoms are present, then it could indeed do that. But asthma doesn't have these symptoms. Asthma has symptoms of dyspnea, right? Shortness of breath, feeling as though there's a horse on their chest. That's a kind of a different world. What I'm talking about right now is the face, the nose, and I do talk about asthma. I teach extensively about that in the allergic course. Which products, ingredients are we examining? Yep, Allergy Calm. Okay. How many did I count? I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got one more. I think I said 5. There are 6. Solidago is the next one, 5C, and that is abundant nasal discharge. There's so much mucus flowing that the person stuffs Kleenex up in their nose. They can't stand it. It's maddening. It's horrible. And this is, I want to highlight this. I want to make sure that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 medicines. Abundant nasal discharge is Solidago. What potency was the Sabadilla? Well, if you look on these are all, the Sabadilla is a 5C in this box. It doesn't mean you have to use it in a 5C, but if we're going to use this box, this product, then it's already determined for us. Sneezing. Sneezing is, yes, for sneezing. Thank you, Lisa. Yep, Sabadilla's for sneezing. A lot of these have sneezing in them, but especially Sabadilla. It's all about the nose, the nose, the nose, the nose. And let's see what else we've got here. I've got a lot of questions coming in here. Sabadilla, great for allergies. Hi, Leanne. And a few other things. Well, let me also point that out. Thank you for mentioning that, Leanne, because if you were to look in your Materia Medica, you're going to find that each of these medicines have more than just these conditions. I'm focusing in on allergies, fall allergies that are related to the nose, the sinuses, the eyes, even the throat. That's what I'm focusing on. Is it okay to give a combo remedy to an animal, such as a cat? I don't see why not. Animals suffer too. We use the homeopathic medicines on cows and dogs and cats, infants, the elderly, pregnant women, children, teenagers. What about swollen turbinates and adenoids that block nasal passages due to allergies? Asks Olivia. Well, there is, any one of these could be useful for that, but I'm going to tell you which is the one that we talked about that was edematous. Think about that. What I just talked about that has, which of the medicines has edema? Swelling is edema. So I want you to think about which medicines have edema. And then that is going to help with determining which is the medicine that will act. See how this works? Okay? In Allergy Calm. Elmi, thank you very much for writing it all. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. Any other questions? Apis is certainly a good possibility. Yes, absolutely. Listen, are there other medicines that we can consider here for allergies? What do you think? Are there more that we could consider? Let's stop going this way. Right here. Look at all these medicines. Are there more? You bet there are. And the ones that are the most noteworthy are Arsenicum. I didn't even talk about Arsenicum. Apis. The reason I didn't is because it's not in this product. And it doesn't mean that it's not good enough. It means this is for itchy, watery eyes, sneezing, itchy throat, and nose. Very specific. So if it is focused on these conditions, then by all means, the medicines that are in this combination are likely to be useful, right? Okay, Lycopodium 30 has been a fave for edema of nasal passages for one of my kids as an SOS. Lycopodium 30 also has edema. You're absolutely right. It also approaches edema. And I would consider it Lycopodium 30, not 200, not 3, not 6, Lycopodium 30 for edema, or apis. Or and the ones that we just discussed for edema. What's the best book to help determine what remedy is best? And is there an app or program that can okay. This is the book. This is the repertory. It's very complex. It's a long-term study. You're not going to find a book that's going to tell you what to take, what potency, what frequency, and what to expect. You're not going to find that. That's in courses. And that's why I'm talking about my allergy course, Allergic. You go to Joette's Learning Center and go to Allergic. That's where you're going to learn about what to use for what condition, what potency, what frequency. All righty. I think we've got it. We are now at 8:31 Eastern Time. And I want to say thank you, my friends. Please like and subscribe so that we can get this going even faster than we're already moving now. So God bless you all. And I will see you next week at the same time. Bye now. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa, no dairy, it's elementary. With arnica head, arsenica fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.